I'm Pastor Dan Hilly at St. Matthew Lutheran Church in Avon, Connecticut. In the spirit of experimentation and trying new things, over the past 2 years, with the help of Pastor Yahel Curry of Shekinah Chapel in Riverdale, Illinois, we have created a 2-year mission trip experience focused on bringing high school students from 2 radically different congregations, St. Matthew in Avon, Connecticut, and Shekinah Chapel in Chicago's South Side Riverdale neighborhood, together a week at a time, once in Chicago and once in Avon. It's by bringing these 2 radically different congregations together over 2 years that we've been able to develop and cultivate relationships by these young people and engage with what ministry looks like in radically different contexts. I could tell you more about this 2-year initiative, but I'd much rather have you hear about it from the youth who were there.
Missional service is I've never been a minority, ever. I mean, blonde hair, blue eyes, just everything. Just white, Christian. I've never been a minority, don't know what to expect. Don't know what it's going to feel like to stand out like that, because I'm not used to that at all.
I think I'm most excited about, meeting the kids there, since we're going to be seeing them next few years.
Building a friendship and bonds that aren't just a one-time thing. It's something we can look forward to for this coming week, something we can look forward to for next year when they come here, and even at the National Youth Gathering the year after.
With that information in my head that our church were looking for opportunities for groups to come together and kind of learn about each other. I felt like Chicago had a similar stigma as Detroit. And so I just jumped at the opportunity. I felt like it was right timing. I knew Pastor Hilly and I knew that his heart was right.
Actually, when the first day we all actually started talking and we all became more, it was different from what I thought it would have been.
It makes me look forward to going to Connecticut even more. Because I feel like, we had fun in Chicago, we can have the same fun in Connecticut.
I think I enjoy it, because I like to see new things, so I'm pretty sure they got a lot to show me.
They're going to have to introduce us to their community because, I'm pretty sure it's different.
I'm excited for them because they don't know even just the rural area we live in.
I hope that we can find some more stuff that they do and how they do it differently.
Your pastors are not going to put you in a situation that is dangerous. As our pastor said going into it, he said he will make us uncomfortable, but he won't put us in a dangerous situation. And putting us in those positions made me grow as a person. And so I would just say trust your church and trust yourself and just go out and have fun and make the most of the experience.
Day one, I knew we had something special. I wanted us to be able to come in and just observe what was going on in the community and look for moments where we could immerse with each other. So the first couple days, I think we were very good at just giving the kids the space to observe, to breathe, to ask the tough questions, to just get an idea of the new environment they were in. And it just happened. It began to happen day 3, day 4. Children began to try things, began to sing some of the songs of Chicago and the children of Shekinah Chapel, began to walk the community, began to just have a sense of community. I think after 3 days, we all understood that we were going to be safe. We're going to be challenged, but the question of safety was no longer an issue. And when that's no longer an issue, we can do ministry. And day 3, it started happening. We started seeing more and more and more, leading up to, I just gotta say, the block club party. The children served. They worked the entire block by themselves, were getting children involved, were walking around with children and holding hands. And I had a glimpse of what the kingdom of God was like. I was really touched, really touched. We did it. We made it happen. It exceeded all of my goals and dreams. It really happened.
The thing that really stood out to me was how comfortable our kids were at the end of the week. At the block party, there was a pickup basketball game, and it was the kids from Shekinah, the kids from St. Matthew, and then other kids in the neighborhood. And no one stopped, no one questioned, everyone just picked up. And there's this beautiful moment of watching these kids just be kids, play a game of basketball on the street. And everyone was comfortable and respectful and safe. And then 2 days after that, we were at worship at Shekinah. And the worship of Shekinah is very different than the way that we do worship at St. Matthew. And our youth were respectful, and they lived in that moment. And they just had a great time. And I don't think that that could have happened if it wasn't for the respect and the trust and the safety that was established between these kids this week. And so that was really, to me, what stood out, was the amount of trust that developed between these 25 kids over the course of just a few days. That was what we wanted, and thankfully that's what we saw.
I thought when I was thinking about Connecticut and Avon, I'm like one, where is it? Two, what is there to do? But as we came out here, we were like, it's a lot of stuff to do. Like, it's so fun out here. I love the climate. So I feel as though my previous thoughts are now changed, and I'm like, okay, like, this is like Chicago to me. Like, I love it out here. I wish we could stay 2 weeks.
It was different. Like, I thought it was gonna be a little more, like, it was more country than I thought it would be. Like, it's more trees, and like, I didn't expect it to be so nature-filled and not really busy.
Man, I had a very different expectation. First of all, I thought we were going to be in the sticks. I really had this idea built up in my mind that Avon was this really rural community that was far removed from civilization. So, I mean, granted, it is much slower and quieter than a big city, but I was surprised to see how much civilization really did exist right around St. Matthew's Church.
Well, the different part is the bears. I was like a little bit afraid of that, so I'm like, oh, we gotta go bears again.
Bears, yeah.
And then the mountains, like everywhere you drive, you was driving over a mountain or coming down one.
Favorite memory from this mission trip, there's actually two. One is when we arrived at St. Matthew Church, and the group that was waiting on us and the warm reception. It just really felt good. We left our service that Sunday at Shekinah Chapel, leaving at 2:30, and we traveled to like midnight, got a hotel, got up early that morning, traveled here. The children were exhausted, but the doors opened, and there were, about 20 people coming out to greet us, and some were familiar faces. So I saw our children light up. So that was really special. It was a special moment. I guess I was worried that maybe the relationship that was built in Riverdale, maybe something had worn off, but right away we could see that the connection was there. And my second warmest memory of the mission trip here to Avon, Connecticut was climbing Avon Mountain. Just the opportunity to hike up a couple miles with the group and look at the scenery and the view and the fellowship that happened going up the mountain as well as down the mountain was pretty unique. So I think because it was only our second day here, we might have gone up the mountain one way, but we definitely came down a closer knit group.
I didn't know much about Connecticut, so it was amazing how they had so much stuff planned, and by doing the stuff that they had planned for us, we got to learn more and more about Connecticut's background and the small city of Avon and where all the others were from, Canton and so on and so on. So it was nice to learn more and more about the background as the days went on. So.
Well, the old kids, it was like instantaneous. We like reconnected, formed those relationships once again. But the new kids, I thought at first I was apprehensive because I thought like, oh, it'll be awkward for them to like join these already made groups. But like within like a day, they were just getting along with us as well as the people we met last year.
They did welcome me. I didn't expect that. I thought that they were just going to be talking about all the stuff that happened last year. But they involved me in everything, so that was nice.
It seemed like the first day, at first it was like hard building friendship, but then, you know, as you get to meet new people, you open yourself up and they get to see your personality. So it's like, as they seen who you really are, they became your friends. So.
It was definitely different because we're touring my state, and like when I tell my friends that I'm doing a mission trip, usually they think that you're going somewhere. So it was definitely like a different style trip, but I think it was really fun being the host and getting them to show like how we live.
I feel welcome because like everybody remembered me, even though like the last day last year I wasn't there because I had lost my phone, so I had to get a new one. And then I felt welcome because, you know, everybody remembered me, I remembered everybody, and we just like bonded right back together. Like it was almost like a pause in a movie and then press play as soon as we got together. So
it was having fun, but we also learned a lot about each other and each other's culture and how they differ and how they're similar. And we also made a lot of new friends that I hope we keep for a long time.
When we bring these two different groups from completely different areas together, we see a change. We see people becoming friends within a matter of days. And we've had these experiences together, and it just shows that we can have this bond and be different in many ways.
So I think what others can learn is that sometimes we just gotta start having a conversation, and the youth are really good with it. Sure, there were awkward moments here in Avon, but they weren't just awkward moments for us. That was for the entire group, for the youth of St. Matthew here in Avon. And our children tend to name it and talk about it right away and ask questions. What was that like for you? How did that make you feel? And so there was this sense of mutuality. And so what I think other groups, other congregations can learn from this experience is sometimes we just got to talk about difference. And we need to understand that we're talking about different generations. So what it might have been like for myself as a youth is different today. And our children today are looking for those relationships. And we've been looking to them for the last 2 years, and they have not failed us. They have taught us that it's okay to talk about difference. It's okay to open up one's culture. You don't have to worry about if you have to write diction. You don't have to worry about if the education levels compare or if the classes compare. What matters is just everybody being at the table and everybody having a voice.
Looking back at the trip, the thing that I really learned was that when you look at the state of America and these tensions between communities, especially in the face of the event in Ferguson or the Eric Garner situation, the way we can combat such radical and polemic opinions held between different communities in America, black and white, thugs and pigs, and all these words that are thrown around, is that you fight intolerance through humanity and developing relationships. We took two groups of kids, and at the end of our 2-year trip, it wasn't those St. Matthew's kids and those Shekinah Chapel kids. It was Jacoby and Jarve and Marin and Manny, and they knew one another's names, and they knew each other's stories. And that humanity is how we build not only working societies, but the kingdom of God in the world today.
Well, it's hard to live in front of the world. There's only so much that you can pretend. Write down what it is you're thinking. Take each day as it comes. You never know what's hanging round the bend. And as far from the world as we get, I can swear that the two of us will always be the same. Figure out what it is you believe in, and if you must choose, try not to trade your fortune in for fame. And you'll learn, learn, learn. You wait your turn, 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 and you'll get sick on the way by the things that people say. It'll break your heart against the wind, but you will just keep breathing in. Well, if you're scared to live in front of the world, I got news for you. You should be then. 'Cause when your confidence gets low and you got nowhere to go, just remember how you felt about me and our friends, and we'll learn, learn, learn. We'll wait our turn, 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 and we'll get sick on the way by the things that people say. It'll break our hearts against the wind, but we will just keep breathing in.